often unveil their genius self by allowing one or two magnificent manifestations of their full potential self to flow through. Great artistry, mathematicians, musicians, musical talent, and other forms of genius can manifest through savant people who are so autistic they cannot manage a conversation or relate in a more common social ways to the world around them. They are part of the same information field from which our resistance flow. We are like water. A particle person looks at a quantity of water, such as the bucket or a drop of water in an ocean. They must check out the little things that might be in the water before putting their foot in. In contrast, the nonlinear plater focuses upon the waves. Their fine grain screens cannot focus on the drop because their gross grain screens are dominant. They see the wave and experience the motion of the ocean. They see the mist rising as the ocean being lifted into the sky by heat by the sun, clouds forming and flowing across the sky, bumping up against the land to fall as rain. Wave people are conscious of the rain as part of the systems providing endless streams of water, forming rivers, giving life to plants and animals upon land. The minerals from land dissolve into the waters and provide sustenance upon which all earth life depends. The ocean, the rain, the sun, the wind, the minerals are all one whole dynamic within the life of the planet. All are part of the implicit order. That might have to be shortened. These out. So my last video was too long and got rejected by YouTube, so I'm going to have to splice this one up, but I'm going to be continuing on. I am making an audio recording of this if anybody wants it, and I can figure out a way of sending it to anybody. It's kind of interesting. So, to continue on. Holodynamic people have a trouble focusing upon a single drop of water, nor do they hesitate to consider the process of wetness within all life as interwoven within an implicit order. They expand their consciousness to include the dimensions of presence that gives form to the information flow that governs the energy from which life forms, continues its dance, and weaves its webs within this and other worlds. Holodynamics know from science the rational view of life. They also know from experience the waveforms of life. In addition, the holodynamic consciousness allows a person to enter the non-local reality and view its effects upon physical reality, not only to sense the effects of parallel worlds of the past and future on Earth's life, but to sense the effects this planet is having on other worlds. We are influencing other dimensions as well as being influenced by them. So the holodynamic player always, for the extension of awareness into these other worlds and hidden dimensions of cause and potential. That's where I'm seeing is like spirits. There's negative and positive spirits that definitely influence you, and the game is still being played within our spiritual type world, but the spiritual type world that we don't understand is what is alien to us. So, but to think there's another being out there on a spaceship, you know, that's kind of just the human game. That's the illusion that we create for ourselves. It's getting out of that illusion where you'll find something completely different. But that's why I also think death isn't the way to go. You've got this instinctual thing to survive, but we all have this death wish. We all perceive that we all must die, but that's only within this particle wave reality. In order to evolve, the only way to get there is by not dying. You got to keep this physical form, and then you can get out of this physical form. It's the weirdest thing, but to evolve, you need this body to last. You need to look after this body as though it were a temple. And then this body will take you to places that are out of this world. And that is the weirdest thing. But anyways, I'll keep reading. I hope this is where I left off. Holodynamics never have to sacrifice one dimension for another because all dimensions are created equal. As Townsend said, they never have to separate themselves in order to maintain their own identity. Holodynamics experience internally within themselves. They also experience external coherence. They can sense the coherence among the water, soil, and plants. They hear the signals given by the roots of each tree and trace its frequencies into the soil where microbes are listening. They take the journey and join with the microbes, travel along the information highways that bring life-given minerals to the roots and sustain life. There is a sharing, a rejoicing as the roots inject into the microbes, giving the carbohydrates, I can't pronounce that word, that they need. Every tree experiences billions of these microorganisms every day. Holodynamics realize that life is a complex symbiosis of continual love frequency in which everyone is interwoven. This hidden order of life is so complex that a single cubic foot of ordinary soil may contain more than 60,000 miles of microscopic living fibers. It does not matter if one samples the soil from the steppes of the northern Russia or the depths of the rainforest. The entire system of life is interwoven with implicit orders within orders, fields within fields. Within this interwoven network of connectiveness, it is evident we are inseparable, connected to hyperspace, and yet while there is no evidence anywhere on Earth that anything is separate, still we humans create our separation dances. Solution to mental illness. Mental illness is a separation dance. The potential that drives its processes is usually a desire to reconnect. Those families who have an identified patient who exhibits the symptoms of being multiple personalities or schizophrenic are being invited to shift their epicenters. Their challenge is to emerge from their restrictive event horizons into a new dimension of consciousness, and the message is delivered by the identified patient. The symptoms of a mental illness can be better understood and explained by using similar processes that physicists and mathematicians use in understanding such basic things as gravity, parallel worlds, and black holes. For example, the application of a holographic principle to black holes opens the door to an additional 2 dimensions of reality, makes possible a much more complete understanding of black holes. Likewise, the application of a holographic principle to consciousness opens the door to the dimension of holodynes and collective field dynamics that are directly related to what we have labeled as mental illness. The conscious state of being of people we have called the mentally ill in the past is now better understood as a growing awareness of the influence of holodynes and collective information fields. Holodynes are experienced as entities or information systems that may be learned, self-created, inherited, or coming from parallel worlds. Their effect is a fracturing to the individual's coherence, which shows up as an inconsistent identity, multiple personality, social dysfunction, or some other symptom of disharmony. When one's family and culture hold little or no awareness of the unfolded dimensions of consciousness, such as the holodynes of the parallel worlds, their limited consciousness fails to provide an integration field that encourages coherence. Once the deeper dimensions of consciousness are experienced and understood, everything begins to connect. Integration takes place in which the holodynes can be transformed and the fields can be aligned. Such transformation becomes part of the solution of problems that naturally arise from awareness of other worlds. Mental health is not just a matter of the biochemical balance. It cannot be contained within a linear model. Holodynes and parallel worlds are influencing us here. People become aware of the multidimensional dynamic reality and realize that these dimensions hold the keys to unlocking mysteries of mental well-being. What's really interesting here is my ex-husband and his new wife have been trying to say that I'm the one that's mentally ill. They've been wanting to get out of paying their child support payments, and they've continually been extremely abusive, not only to me, but my children. And they don't like our reaction. They don't like it that, oh, I get pissed off if you do something really harmful to me. As soon as you turn on the, oh, I'm angry after you've abused me trip, that's when the medical world sees you as having an anger management problem or a mental illness problem. So that is why I really needed to understand what is the game being played with mental illness, because it appears to me that the people that throw around a mental illness label are the ones that are perceiving their world from the insane eyes that they judge it from. Because it does seem to me that there's a mental illness involved when a father has zero connection to your child needs food today. And where is your child getting any food today? Your child needs a home to live in, a warm, heated home. Your child needs some clothing. It really blows my mind that a father can't connect with his own children and find out what they need every single freaking day. To me, I would say that is a mental illness. But yet they were, I got accused of having control issues. But it seems to me that somebody else has been trying to control my life. The words are that they wanted me to live in poverty. I have lots of emails that said that they were going to destroy my world financially. I would know the meaning of debt. My children, they would do everything in their power to have my children turn against me. To me, I would think that that's sort of psychopathic behavior. I don't know. I'm not going to label anybody, but it's just an observation that the medical world that seems to be diagnosing people, it's like I could have easily turned into what it is that they wanted to see if I played their game. I couldn't have played that dance. Which is why I refuse to be angry. There's no way anybody's going to piss me off. Yeah, it's been really depressing seeing how many people are involved in this dance of life that supports abuse, because it's so widespread, and it's so shocking when you see this dance and how many people are actually playing it who claim that they don't. And we're talking religion is one of the major dances, that they are the major players in sustaining abuse within our world, and yet they say they're good in God. So you can't be the definitions that they send out to you, or just being mad, just hearing it will turn you into that. Hell, even the government would say that I'm mentally ill because I see the world completely different. I see the dance, I see the game, and it's part of the problem is labeling the right people with the right illness. And to me, globally, it looks like our professionals that are studying all of the sciences, that are putting out all of these labels and trying to separate everybody, it's the doctors that are friggin' insane. It's the government systems that are all insane. Anyone that wants to put a label on you seems to be dealing with mental illness here. So in order to cure that mental illness on a global level, it's best that we, the ones that are sane, kind of understand and label and diagnose, but know what to do to heal it, because that's basically all it is there's a lot of people that are fucking insane that just need some curing. There is no doctor that's going to save the world, so it's going to be people that can actually understand this stuff and know how to cure it, because we are one human family. I've got to split this up with the other tape, so I got to make it shorter and hope it's the same length. Peace out.